Even in a rocky market, there are stocks, some of them just doing fine, thank you. Take Fiesta Restaurant Group, FRGI, the owner of two fast casual restaurant chains, Pollo Tropical, this time I pronounced it right, which serves Caribbean food, mostly in Florida and the Southeast, and Taco Cabana, which is authentic Mexican food. Fiesta is what I like to call a great regional and national growth story, and the real hot concept here is Pollo Tropical. Now, the company just reported on Tuesday, and sure enough, Fiesta delivered some better-than-expected numbers with a 1-cent earnings beat. Same-store sales, very impressive, up 6.7% at Pollo Tropical, a strong number that was much higher than anticipated, while they increased by 2.8% at Taco Cabana, which was also better than the analysts were looking for. Meanwhile, Fiesta raised its full-year same-store sales guidance for 2014 and said its new stores are tracking either even with their forecasts or ahead of them. Fiesta's given you a quick 5% gain since I recommended it on July 16th. But up here, the stock's trading at 30 times earnings. Expensive. So is this a regional national story that you should pay up for, or should we get more wary about the stock at these levels? Let's check in with Tim Taft, the president and CEO of Fiesta Restaurant Group, find out more about the quarter and where his company's headed. Mr. Taft, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir. Good. Have a seat. Thank you. Well, I have to tell you, when a caller called, it's an interactive show. I was embarrassed to not know your situation because once I read about it, I realized that this may be one of the great growth stories right now in the stock market. How are you putting on these numbers and you're not like the most talked about restaurant chain in the country?
Well, I think we're a pretty well-kept secret. And, we spun out of a parent company about 2.5 years ago, May 7th. 2012, and since then we've been out hitting the road and telling people our story, but it's new, and we just have to continue to put up quarter after quarter of good results.
There are a lot of different metrics that I typically use for restaurants. I haven't used this one, which is a mistake. Industry-leading average unit volume. How can Pollo Tropical be doing 2.7 million? That's an extraordinary number per store.
It is. When you consider that it's only open for lunch and dinner.
Right. That's no. Honest to God, it's not 24 hours.
No.
I mean, how are you doing those numbers?
One customer at a time. Okay. We've got restaurants in Miami that do over 500 cars a day through the drive-through. Wow. It continues. There's a lot of different levers that we continue to pull that are driving same-store sales. With technology, we've started eliminating some products that are kind of cumbersome in our restaurant, which takes away from throughput, and that makes the kitchens less efficient. So in taking those away, we're actually being able to drive same-store sales. We continue to add restaurants in undeveloped markets, underdeveloped, and as it turns out, we're being able to raise same-store sales even higher.
Now, Carol spun you out.
Yep.
Do you need both Taco Cabana and Pollo Tropical under the same roof?
I think that as we move into Texas, Taco Cabana is going to be a great help to Pollo Tropical.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because we're going to go in and we're going to build restaurants out in DMA. So we'll start off in Dallas and Fort Worth and Austin, San Antonio, Houston. And we can afford to put in one restaurant as a beachhead because we can still run media because we can share media costs with Taco Cabana.
Okay, now, is there something bigger going on? We've got this Pollo Loco came public, and it became one of the most successful IPOs of the year. Obviously, Chipotle's doing great. I was shocked to hear how good Qdoba, which has been a second-tier player within the industry, is doing, buried within Jack in the Box. Is there something larger going on with Mexican food?
Well, I think Mexican food, not only is it the Hispanics is the fastest growing demographic in the United States, but there really isn't a national player if you take Chipotle out of the mix. But there are really strong regional players, and that's why we think that we were very, very strong in Texas, and that's why with the addition of Cabana Grill heading east, we're going to try to capture some of that.
Now, and you have industry-leading earnings for interest, tax, depreciation. You've got this great same-store sales, great average unit volume, terrific. Why not just put one up in New York and one in Chicago, one in Philadelphia? I mean, are we going to see that within the next 5 years?
I think that we have every confidence that we can grow into a national footprint. I think that what we were planning on doing first is we're showing that it can transport, that it can be successful outside of Florida. We're very successful now in Texas with our second opening. We've got another 9 under construction right now.
Now, food costs, everyone's very, very worried because we know, we've seen a lot of prices go up. Even Buffalo Wild Wings, we were there last week. People are worried about second half, the food costs going up. Under control for you guys?
It'll be flat for the remainder of the year.
Flat for the year?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have, for my money, the best supply chain expert on the planet, Joe Brink. He's a savant.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, most people are much more concerned than you. Now, do you when I look at the larger trend of restaurants, it also seems like that there's a place where people will go and people won't. For instance, Darden seems to have lost its way, okay? And McDonald's has lost its way. Are you in some sort of third path where the cheap guys aren't doing it and the kind of expensive guys aren't doing it and you're in the sweet spot?
I think we are in the sweet spot. I think when times are tough, people trade down to us. And when times are good, they trade up to us.
Hold on, explain that latter to me. I don't get that.
Well, when times are tough, people will trade down to us.
Okay, I get that.
And when times are good, people will trade up.
I mean, so they'll trade up. Say Taco Bell.
From a fast food, they'll come into us.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a very exciting story, and thank to our viewers, I never would have known about it. But this is maybe the regional national story that I'm looking to get behind, and I think the multiple may be high, but I think the concept's fast-growing and terrific. Thank you so much to Tim Taft, President and CEO of Fiesta Restaurant Group. Guys, this is something I'm learning about on the fly, and you are too. FRGI. They've got some great presentations. You can see why I'm so excited if you go into them. After the break, I'll try to make even more money.
Still to come, are you ready to go shopping with the Sharks? Chart Week continues tonight, and Cramer's in the tank testing the technicals of JCPenney, Coors, and Deckers. Plus, tweet at Jim Cramer, #Chartnado, and show us the profitable patterns you found. We might just feature your work on the show.